Anything that changes the computer freaks me out.
Okay, you'll live. I
Get
promise.
on.
All right, I'm recording. You don't have to click anything if you don't want to. Just don't click exit. I'm gonna put this up on YouTube when we're done. Click whatever you want. Just don't leave.
I won't.
There's only one other option. I'm being sarcastic. All right. Anyway.
All right, we'll get started here in about another. Actually, give it a. I don't know if Scott. I don't know if Scott's even on yet or not, but
he's not. I'm just gonna keep letting people in. I'm recording right now, so you can kick it off whenever you want.
Perfect. All right, everybody. This is the welcome. I know there's some other people haven't been on here a while, or some new people. This is the alternative meeting for the Real Estate Investment Association. Most of you know, for some of you don't, we focus on everything having to do with real estate. It's open forum. We kind of keep landlording tenants and toilets for the housing providing meeting that we have. Actually, Carl Weeks actually is one of the gentlemen who actually heads that meeting. There he is. Everybody bow to Carl. And Carl, he knows more about real estate than all of us put together. And you know, typically we'll talk about anything here revolving around real estate. I don't care if it's wholesaling, flipping, mortgages, subject twos, whatever, anything having to do with real estate and making money. Okay.
Storage lockers,
storage, whatever, commercial, residential. And by the way, anything we talk about, please, you know, always talk to your attorney, always consult your accountant. I tell people this all the time. What works for me may not work for you. What works for some of you may not work for some of us. And so please don't take as what we say as gospel. We try to offer the best advice that we can. And then basically, you know, we just want to make sure that we can answer whatever questions we can over here for you. Okay. We try to kick this thing off with has and wants. Okay. And for anybody who has anything that they're looking to sell, anything you're looking to buy, commercial, residential, city, suburbs, flips, holds, whatever it is there, if you're looking, let us know. Don't be afraid to talk. Anybody have anything they're looking to buy or sell?
I am looking to purchase my first flip. So pretty much anything in either the suburbs or some of the like up and coming parts of the city. And I can pay cash. Just trying to get the ball rolling. So if you guys hear of anything, please reach out for sure.
Okay. By the way, what price range are you looking for?
I'd like to keep the purchase price around 100 or less.
Okay. Perfect. And by the way, don't be afraid to put your, there's a chat box. Don't be afraid to put your information up on there. That way people can actually contact.
Yeah, I will. I'll throw it in there. Thanks.
I'm learning this as I go. Anyone else?
Joe, can I go over an alternative deal that we did recently? In fact, last time we met, I brought it to your attention. There was that fire job.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, but can we do that after the haves and wants?
Yeah,
I definitely
sure,
want to know about that. I want to know about that place. That place was destroyed. I want to know.
Yeah, but
so,
you gotta hear the deal that happened though. So
anyway, I will. Yeah, we're
later on.
We do it right after the haves and wants. Anyone else have anything that they're looking to buy or sell? I've got a 2-family, 19th ward, $65,000, upstairs vacant, downstairs occupied, needs about $35,000 worth of work. It's probably worth around $135,000. If you're interested, give me a call. And may also have a 2-family in the Maplewood section. Needs a lot of work, is occupied, retail there. 130s, maybe 150s. I got to figure out what I'm going to do, what's going to happen with that, but it's probably going to go for somewhere right around, I think, in the 60s. Not for the faint of heart, but it is occupied, needs everything. So if you're thinking, do you think it needs a roof? Yes. Think it might need a windows? Yes. Maybe you need siding? Yes. Not for the faint of heart. Okay.
Hot water
But,
tank, furnace.
well, actually, those are good, believe it or not. And there's people living there. Rents are low. And then I may also have another single family house in the city. Occupied is probably going to go for somewhere right around $35,000. The rent, I think, was $750 or $800 a month, cash paying tenant. So if anyone is interested, contact me. Okay. And oh, by the way, I'm looking for more properties. I want commercial, I want industrial, and obviously suburban properties, and obviously city properties. Pretty much, I want everything. I know, what can I say? Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm looking for a residential property, doesn't matter where it is, in the city that has a sizable garage, 2 or 3 bays for my operation. So
I know a guy who, I got to see if he sold it yet or not, Carl. He wanted me to buy it, but he wanted retail. But in the back, there was a 4-bay garage in the Otis Street area.
yeah, that's what we're looking. Oh, I know the property you're talking about. Exactly the property you're talking about. Is it gone? Is it gone, or you don't know?
I don't know yet, actually, because I did the house next to it, and then we ended up finding out, which was crazy. The 4-bay garage, the 4th bay was built on the property line. So when I got rid of that property, that 1 bay that's connected to the other garage came with it.
Right. Both the houses came with that whole back area. I gotta tell you, going back in the 80s and 90s, Joe Coco, a good friend of mine who owned that, and he ran a limousine service out of those garages back in the 80s and 90s. Oh yeah.
See, Carl knows about every property in Rochester.
No.
Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of properties. You're like a wealth, like a vault of information.
That is true, though. Thousands and thousands is true. Yeah.
Done thousands upon thousands.
Hey, Carl, I do have one, but it's in Irondequoit.
You got to be in the. You got to be in the
two-family?
city. Got to be in the
Okay.
city tax line.
Yep. Okay.
Anyone else? Everybody has what they want. All right, Carl.
What?
I want to hear about that deal you're talking about. That's that firehouse.
All right. So what I did, I put on Craigslist. I got 5 responses, and what this is. Did you go by it, Joe?
From what you told me, it was pretty bad. Actually, tell everybody what happened. Tell them the backstory on this.
Well, the backstory is it's a stove fire that turned into a major loss. So it was a total, and insurance.
It was a 3-family, right?
Yeah, a huge 3-family. This is like this is a money machine, totally, working. And the stove fire on the first floor, just wipe. If you drive by it, look at the front. It's like, what could be wrong here? you go to the back, it's like gone. So anyways, we had a open house last Saturday. It was Craigslist. Had 5 responses. 1 person showed up, the real serious, and the buyer, which by the way, the buyer attorney is Steve Peterson. I'm sure we'll get this closed. But anyways, here were the terms that we offered. They were open to negotiations, but they accepted our offer to sell. Never get an offer to buy. No, this is an offer to sell. It was this. Purchase price $1. There shall be no prorations for taxes, so no credits to the seller. Buyer to pay all closing costs seller to pay all closing costs for the buyer. buyer gets a $5,000 credit at closing to get him started. So no money out of pocket. This is no money down deal, right? Back in the 80s. So it gets him going with cash in his pocket. That was the goal. And we had 5 responses, one serious one, and we have a great communication relationship now. Experience. He actually had this guy actually has fire jobs under his belt, and that's what he does full time. Rehabs, boom. It was funny. We went to the place. I kept trying to scare him off a little bit. Okay, put your mask on, put your braces on. Let's go. Get a. You don't have a flashlight? What? You don't have proper boots? No, they're in sandals and a the camera light going. Okay, here it is. It was fun. He came out. Okay, here's my dollar. He puts it up. Here's my. I want you to initial it. I initialed the dollar so that at closing I get the same dollar back.
Yeah.
It's heading to the. It's the contract's there. It's in both attorneys' hands, and we'll get it to the closing table. The owner had to get out of this quickly. And let me expand upon this for a minute. And the reason being is, let's go down the road of insurance. Okay. Oh my God. So here is a lesson of being underinsured. If you have a loan on this property and are uninsured, you're screwed. Okay. It's very, very important to make sure your insurance is at the point where it pays everything off, including, and here was the kicker, demolition. Because this thing is on the borderline of demolition. Demolition, Joe, was $95,000.
God. Wow.
Her insurance can't do. So she's moving this problem or liability onto the next guy, somebody who's willing to. We had no idea what kind of response we were going to have. We had no idea. And so it was Craigslist. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know if anybody saw it. And there it is. Boom. It's property secured. Nothing broken in. Nothing stolen yet. Everything's under lock and key. And it's for an aggressive, seasoned rehabber. And if you're a do-it-yourselfer, it may work. And that's what this guy is. If you GC this out, the cost would have been double the value of the property.
Yeah.
That's why we went down this road. That's
fantastic. So I remember you telling me, like, dude, I remember, and so Carl was like, Joe, we'll pay you $5,000 to take this house. Now I don't mind doing firehouses. I used to stay away from them, and now I love them because you can there's such a huge spread of opportunity on that. But Carl's scared me. That place, because all I'm thinking is the 3 families probably. I mean, where was it, on Garson or Grand or something?
Yeah, Garson by Denver Street. Close to Culver.
So what's that worth fixed up, Carl?
Well, there's the problem. If you look at the cash flow, I mean, you're at 100 grand plus. Assessed value is like 76.
Yeah.
We have a 3-family. I'm sorry, 3-bedroom, huge. I mean, 800 with room to move up, plus a 3rd floor studio, 600. So you have potentially a 3,000 plus month cash flow property. And again, it's assessed value versus, buyer value. Who knows? This guy will have a cash flow cow once he's all done.
Oh yeah.
Now here was our concern. Here's what we were expecting, negotiations, and we were ready for it. That $5,000, we were ready to negotiate that.
To go higher.
Is this buyer on this video thing? He's not on this thing.
I would have come and look at that.
Oh yeah, Joe. You said, oh no, ain't no $5,000. I want 30 grand to cut. Let me tell you something. We were about to go real high with that. And
wow.
So
Yeah, it would have been worth it because the insurance, I mean, I'm sure they got a nice big check from the insurance company, which more than covered it. And it would have been better for them to do that. Even $30,000, it still would have saved 60 grand. There's a classic case of paying somebody to get rid of it for $30,000. I mean, it's $30,000. It would have been worth to go doing.
Now, this is a lesson in negotiations. Okay, you don't just accept; you accept with something in return, right? So it was funny. We're out in the front lawn. We're out, doing this whole thing, and in fact, 2 of the phone calls and this guy go, "What's the catch? I don't get it. I just think this is like bizarre. I've never seen this before." And he goes, "What's the catch?" I go, "Well, you're in the city, number one. Number two, you saw what you saw, right? That's the catch. And we're willing to do this." Okay. So in his mind, it was acceptable. And he just took it and we have a done deal.
Wow. That's fantastic. I meant to ask you whatever happened with that deal.
That's what happened.
That is a classic case of T&C, time and circumstances.
And
there.
And as an object lesson of being underinsured, our vendor member, John Brady, will look at your portfolio at no charge and tell you what you should be insured at. He won't sell you anything unless he can help you, but he will let you know if you are underinsured or not. It's a really good idea to look at it because replacement costs have gone through the roof. So you could very well have 90% of your portfolio right now underwater and not know it.
Yeah.
Right. Good point, Andy. So what I missed the point. So being underinsured, here's what I learned through this process. The city demo cost tripled. See, we were going back in the time of pre-asbestos removal.
Yeah.
And these demo costs quadrupled. And so with her paying off the first mortgage and demo, she would have been bankrupt.
Wow.
So the insurance should cover your first mortgage and demo, worst case scenario, and demolition.
That's a great point. I know a guy right now. He was in the middle of rehabbing a house in the city. It caught fire, and he had enough. It covered his insurance, and then he got the bill for the demo, and which it would have put him underwater by around $30,000. And so he's like, okay, what do I do? Do I let the city take it? Some people let it go for taxes, but it takes 3 years. It was in his LLC. And he's like, okay, can I fence it off and then put it into another LLC all by itself? And the attorney said, which was Steve, as a matter of fact, said absolutely not, because they could consider it, sort of like fraud because you put it there solely for the purpose of trying to get out, something ever happens. Because, there's a ton of people there, kids would go in and out of there, even if he fenced it off. And he was trying to get rid of it. I got to find out if he ever did get rid of it. And that was a total loss, but he didn't have enough insurance on it. But yeah, like we're doing a fire job now, and I overinsured it. They only allow me to do a certain amount. But as we progress, I let them know, hey, listen, keep increasing it, because I do not ever want to be caught. I've known too many people get caught who are underinsured. And that's the same thing with the rentals. We're buying firehouses. There was a lady who got a house. Her house was just devastated and destroyed. They had 3 motorcycles in there. They had $30,000 worth of tools. She was nowhere near going to get covered as far as she lived in the house for 30 years. Still had the same insurance from probably like 20 years ago. Didn't cover hardly nowhere near what she should have gotten. She was devastated. So to Carl's point, don't go cheap on insurance.
Right. Let me explain the process of what happens, what the city does on a burnout. If the owner cannot, either sell or rebuild, it sits there. they move in with the process of public nuisance. It's a public nuisance, and then it goes to, because of that, it goes to a demolition hearing, and then they'll demo it. Now, here's the thing: if they demo it, it goes on your taxes. Nobody's going to buy that lot. For example, Garrison, they're not going to buy that lot for 80 grand. So whatever, whatever it is, they're going to take the owner to court directly to secure that judgment. And that's how they're going to get them that way. And so you don't want to go down that road. And that's why we selected what we did, was to pass this. Is he on this call? Pass this problem, pass this liability on to the next guy. He's willing to take it. We're going to help him along a little bit. And boom, mission number 1, get your name off the title, because your liability is huge at this point.
Yeah. Wow. Just when you think you've heard and seen it all, there's always something else. That's fantastic. I meant to ask you about that. That is such a great, that's a fantastic story, especially when it comes for financing. Anybody have any questions on this for Carl, by the way? Anybody even ever done a fire?
I had a question, brother. So did you lock this deal up yourself, or were you helping somebody?
Yeah. So great question. So I'm the agent property management for the owner. I'm the lead person to put this thing together. We do have a real estate agent that's going to take this from point contract to closing. So it is on behalf of the owner of record, who is, I'll try to be nice. Just not business savvy. Let's put it that way.
Understood. Okay. All right. That's something I got a little.
Which, by the way, Earl, I'm looking at you. I'm focused on you. This whole thing you got going on back there means 7. What the hell? Explain what this is.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I forgot that's my math class. Let me take off my virtual filter.
I love it.
Yeah, brother. We're winding down. Almost done with the school year.
You're a city school teacher, or?
I am. I'm actually grading my final exam while we're having this meeting.
You're doing double duty, right? You're security guard and teacher, right?
Hey, listen, Congressman, you already know. Those of us who are in the city, man, we wear multiple hats. We wear multiple hats.
Yeah.
Hey,
That is correct, Earl.
Yes, sir. So I don't know if I missed the wants or needs, but I had 2 deals in Buffalo that I just locked up, but wasn't sure. Is there any? I'm looking for a buyer for a land deal out in Albion, New York, 52 acres. I got it locked up closer to 90. It's assessed for 120.
So there's no services, nothing out there on as far as for sewer, gas, anything like that?
Yeah, it's all there.
Raw land?
No, there's a house on the land as well.
You have this under contract, Earl?
Yep.
Damn. You hit a little gold mine there, buddy.
Hey, if I can find a buyer, maybe. Joe is laughing. Remember that deal I locked up in Bath?
Oh yeah, I remember those. I forgot about them.
You do, right? Because you called your cousin.
Yeah, which guy did you sell them?
I never did.
Well, this one over here in Albion, I'm trying to figure out who the heck I would have. I got a guy who builds on the west side. But the question is it buildable? Give me a call sometime tomorrow and let me reach out to my guy.
All right, sounds good.
Text me over the details, whatever amount of acres and the price you're looking to get for it.
Got it. Yep.
All right. Anybody else have any questions about what Carl was going over?
No questions. We're good.
Perfect, perfect. First of all, does anyone have any questions that they want to ask for themselves? So don't be afraid to ask here. We kind of keep this open forum. So I don't care if it's a deal you're looking at or deal you're thinking of, or even questions on anything. Please put it out there. We'll do the best we can to answer them for you, or at least guide you in somewhere, someplace. And
Joe, I have a question. You know, given this is the creative meeting, short-term rentals, Airbnbs. Who's put their toe in that pond yet? Anybody?
Who what? Say that again.
Who's had some experience with the short-term rental arena?
Great question.
well,
I have.
Ooh,
Marlene.
Marlene, hey,
Hi.
please share any wisdom.
Well, I was setting up to do executive leasing, and I ended up doing Airbnb. And I did have the first couple renters were really great, but after that, I had people throwing parties. It became a party place, rent a party. And so I personally was afraid that they were just going to destroy everything that I had in there. But I've gone out of town and I've rented from Airbnbs before, and you know, it can be great.
Yeah, as I have as well.
So I guess it just depends how much you put into it. I guess I put in a lot into it, so I didn't want parties there. That's what I was concerned about. So
Okay. Now, how'd you determine your pricing?
well, Airbnb kind of helps you with that, and they start basically kind of low to get people in there. And so I think that's where the partying comes in. People are looking for a day or two to stay somewhere and throw a party.
Okay.
I did have people trying to rent it during like holidays for parties, and you know, Airbnb says that they're not allowing that type of thing, but they can't really prevent it.
Now, by chance, did you have a minimum number of nights that could be booked?
At first, when Airbnb set me up, I did not, because it was all new to me. So I did end up putting it for at least 2 nights. At first, they were booking for just 1 night, and they were doing the Insta book, and I wanted to know who I was renting to and what I was renting for. So I don't really like the Insta book thing.
Marlene, that leads me to my next question. Who kind of screens who's coming in, you or Airbnb?
Well, Airbnb says they ask for credentials. They ask for their driver's license. They have to basically prove who they are. And they do get like a history from renting from different places. So you can look into that.
Marlene, where is your Airbnb?
Well, it's in Penfield.
Okay. I mean, I know other people have been looking into it. One of my partners, he does them. He likes the ones over on the lakes. I think his is on, I can't remember if it was Canisius, one of those lakes over there.
Right.
You know,
Good area. That's good area.
Yep, good area. He gets really good rents out there. But I mean, I don't know about you. Most people I talk to, some people I know have done them, and and they're like, okay, I'm done because it's high maintenance, but they were also doing all the cleaning when people were leaving, which I can't even imagine doing all that because of, trying to have time to do that. But I mean,
Right.
were you the ones cleaning up, doing all the sheets and changing everything after every person, or did you have a service come in and do that?
Well, no, I hired the individual to clean for me so it could free up a lot of my time because I knew that would be time consuming, definitely. And I definitely set up my schedule to give me a day in between. So if somebody booked the next day, I wouldn't be available just to give that person time to go in and clean.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Airbnb, Marlene, it's just housing, unlike B&B, which is maybe a breakfast and other stuff, fit amenities, right? Just housing.
Right. That's
just
like a
room.
bed and breakfast, yeah, where they cook for you and things like that.
Oh, really? It is just like a B&B.
No, that's how a B&B is. Yeah.
Yes.
But no, not an Airbnb. No.
Gotcha. All right.
What's so funny is that I had somebody wanted me to buy a house from him. This was oh my God, probably within the last week. He had a house in the city and he was like, we can do an Airbnb. And it wasn't in the best part of the city. And I just, I don't know, to each is their own, I guess, but I knew that area over there was not going to be the most desirable area. There were better areas to do an Airbnb.
So give us a street.
Oh God, it was over there off of it was Campbell Street area.
Okay.
That area over there, and it was close to the expressway. It's on the expressway.
It would seem that anything that is in close proximity to all of the activity that's going on downtown would probably be a killer spot. We have the festivals, or when we have I'm thinking about the Jazz Festival and the Lilac Festival.
Yeah. Yes, Pat Burks has one over in that area, and she does very well with all of those events going on. Yeah.
Yeah, Pat's is over off Charlie Avenue. I know someone that has one on Emerson between Plymouth and Dewey.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Wow. Well, hey, more power to them.
Yeah. Okay.
It's I've looked into those, but I don't know for
High maintenance show.
it is. That's why
you gotta be 2 feet in, and essentially it's a bed and breakfast online. So you do gotta.
Yeah,
that's your desire to just participate in that whole cycle. Then it's good for you. If you're not ready for that, then it's not ready for you.
Yeah, my partner a few weeks ago, he had to go out to Canisius because something happened with one of the outlets or something. There were people there. He had to go, and typically we'll have some people, but that was an emergency. But yeah, and
there are some long term to the professionals that tend to be more profitable. Traveling nurses, engineering, contractors.
Yeah. Let me just interject here just a little bit. Familiar with a few people. Pat Burks, of course, Marlene just mentioned, but there are other folks who I have one time were members of Freedom First, and basically they do Airbnb and they do it in a little bit different way than maybe most of us on this call has thought of. They're very, very successful at doing it. And they do it in areas that let's say you would have a frown on your face like Joe did when he was talking about the property on Campbell Street. The key thing is that you have to put in place, just like when you're doing regular real estate rentals, you have to put a system in place. You have to put in things that make it very, very easy to do. And these, the people that I'm thinking about, and I'm not intentionally not naming names, you know, they are extremely successful. And it's all about price more than location. That'll be one piece of input. But yeah, there are people who do it and they do it very well. Well, I can touch base with you offline a little bit to give you maybe some further input, okay?
Yeah, I would be really interested. I got a buddy in Atlanta who wants to get a couple of Airbnbs in Rochester. I'm like, whoa, okay. I didn't think this was a destination spot. But they shared a couple of things with me that made me realize that there may be some opportunities because of all of the hospitals and all of the medical things that go on in our city.
Yeah, so not to be specific with names, but I know someone who has 25 units, and that those 25 units are located right in the general areas that you're talking about, and they make a killing.
Wow. I never thought of that. Look at that. Learn something new all the time. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've actually stayed in a Airbnb in Chicago near McCormick Place for when we did Greenbuild a couple of years ago, and somebody leased apartments, 2 or 3 of them in a building, and they were subleasing them as Airbnbs. They furnished them, they put everything in there, made you sign a thing, left a bunch of information on the counter. There you go. Everything was walkable, easy access to the trains and buses. It was interesting. I could see something similar being done in certain areas of Rochester for medical and other things.
Wow.
I mean, one of the fundamental components in my mind around doing Airbnb is that it doesn't have to be a property that you own. It could be a rental. And how do you do it? You need to be, my view, you need to be straight up with the owner. But the thing that you're guaranteeing them is a whole year's worth of rent, basically. So for a lot of people, it looks very interesting and appealing because now they have the property completely rented out at a rate that they feel really comfortable with, and they don't do anything except collect the rent. And the responsibility for all other components of it is really the person who's doing the Airbnb. A lot of nuances to it, a lot of pieces. So it's not for the faint of heart, but by the same token, I would say it's not difficult either.
You're making me think, Leon. I've got a 4-unit on Park Avenue, or right off Park Avenue. And I'm like, maybe try one of the units out.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good place to start. And then, you know, you'll get a feel for it. But what I found or noticed is that people tend to be many times more successful when they systematize, for sake of better words, the whole flow of it, so that they, as Marlene indicated, they're not going to get caught trying to, in the middle of the night, you know, trying to do all these things. You know, they have folks on call, they have all it all set up, and you know, because a lot of the front end work is basically done by Airbnb, but you still have to do other components to it. I mean, for example, how do you furnish it? When you, let's say you start off from the very beginning, how do you furnish it? What are you going to put into it? All those things. Most of the people who are doing Airbnb, they already have a system worked out exactly how they're going to do all those pieces. And then they hire someone, as Marlene indicated, that's going to do all the cleaning. If you're a person and your main business is cleaning, you will say, okay, it's great. I got this property. I know that I'm gonna make money on these days because I'm gonna go and I'm gonna clean it. So it's a win for both groups, and not near as much, not near the amount of concern that you and Carl were outlining there in the very beginning, because they've got it all neatly wrapped away. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
Oh, Joe, do you know Chad Baumgartner? Chad. Yeah. Chad.
Yeah. I don't know his last name. I just know everybody by their first name.
Chad, yeah. He does a lot of Airbnb in Park Avenue area. If you want to get, learn more about what goes on there, check it out.
Wait. What area is he in, Carl?
Park Avenue.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
On this subject, Joe, let's bring in Scott Spear. He's online now.
Oh, I didn't know he was on.
Yeah.
Yo, what's happening, everybody? So, hey, glad I could join. So, sorry I'm a little late. Just wrapping something up. That's it. So,
what are you wrapping up?
Another potential self-storage deal.
Damn.
So, we'll see.
Will this be number 8?
Yeah.
Can't even remember. Do I have 7 storage units or 8?
How many houses you got, Joe? It's the same question. How many houses you got?
No, under contract. Under contract. Now you're gone. You can't answer that, Joe.
I can't.
Answer that.
I got a count on the board. I don't know.
Yeah. Same thing.
Dave.
But actually, last night I was invited to a podcast. They wanted me to speak about rent to own, and I forgot how much I really love doing rent to owns. Honestly, in today's market, they're tough, but it's a great way to make money and make a lot of people happy and stuff. So it was a fun presentation last night. So I just told people, look, I don't do it anymore just because I'm traveling. But if you're married to a community, that's the way to go.
So Scott, was that a national presentation thing, or what was the? It was. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't invite you to it. I should have, but it's the guys, they put on a live stream once a month, and they talk about different subjects. So I'll turn you guys on to them. They're in Baltimore, and they do it for like an hour. Sometimes it goes an hour and a half. But, they talk about different subjects, and so yeah, it's pretty good. But what's everybody up to? Year's half over. You guys halfway to your goals? Did we talk about that, Joe?
We haven't gotten to that yet. We actually went over a deal that Carl had, and then we were talking about Earl had a question about Airbnb. I was going to go over that. I was going to see if anyone wants any questions, and then start talking about where Scott. I texted Scott. Scott goes, "We need to talk about it's halfway through the year. Is everyone where they want to be or where they need to be, and what do we need to do to get there?" But I wanted to, before we get to that, I don't know if anyone wants to ask any more questions before we do that.
The Airbnb thing, I just came, I was in Florida last week down with a bunch of other, like-minded people, and there's some people doing the Airbnbs and VRBOs, and they're just killing it. They say a thing that's painful is I think they pay like 25% of their fee for like Airbnb and a VRBO. And I know a guy who's doing it with RVs too, and he's killing it. He's in Hammondsport, New York, and he does say that the outdoorsy, they take 25% of the rent, which I'm shocked by, but but anybody doing that business right now is just killing it. Everybody I know is doing it is just killing it. And Joe, I heard you talking about maybe doing it with one of your apartments. I think that's an awesome idea. If you got a 4-unit, do it with one, and man, if it works, you just got to have the cleaning crew to come in and turn it over. Chad probably knows somebody who'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to make. I get 1,000 a month for a 1-bedroom over there, but each unit's almost 1,000 square feet. I wonder what I could do. I have to make I want to make it worthwhile. At least 2.5 times that would be nice.
So $200 a night, 30 nights. Here's do $100 a night, 30 nights. That's $3,000.
Be worth it.
It'd be worth it.
So Scotty,
Send me half, Joe.
where are you and what are you doing?
I'm in Bedford, Virginia, not in Roanoke. We'll be going back to Roanoke, but we're in Bedford, Virginia. It's where Chris's mother lives. And there's a storage facility. Just happened to come across LoopNet, and I went and met with them. And we found out that it's a family who inherited it. And unfortunately, they own 4 other ones, and the kids can't agree on the money. So I'm like, okay, well, we got this one for, yeah, I'll go find out about these other 4. So,
which means fortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, you're in the picture. That's fortunate.
yeah.
So Scott, how many units is that one? How many units total does the family own?
Well, facility wise, the one that they had for sale, because they call it remote. It's a half hour away from the other 4 facilities. I'm like, this one's remote. They all know it's about 300,000, about 200,000 square feet.
So what does that
And then,
equate to units?
Unit wise, I think it was something like, a minute on that. Oh, there's like 700 units, I think it was. They didn't have all the information on it, but I called the broker back and said, look, I'm gonna work this through you. The family owns these other facilities. I don't know if you knew or not, but let's go ahead and go for these too. So we'll see. We'll see. It's the one they have now that they have up for sale. It's pretty cool. There's room for expansion, and they got the trailers, the shipping containers. It's got some shipping containers on it. I could bring in more of those. So it's pretty cool. So
I
we'll see.
assume you're going to buy it below market value.
Half. Joe Lavavera taught me.
Yeah. Stay, Scott. Come on.
Yeah. And now I just call Joe for the funding on it. I know he's got the money. Just back up the Brinks truck, Joe. Send the Brinks truck to Virginia. Let's go.
Oh my God, so funny.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. All the power of just contacting one person, and next thing you know, they've got 5 storage facilities, 4 or 5. That's
Yep. 5 altogether. So we'll see.
Wow.
So
Joe, Scott, on a side note, back last month you talked about your father-in-law. How are you doing?
Thanks for asking. He's doing better. He's in the assisted living facility, and he absolutely loves it. He's happy there. Only thing they're doing now is just balancing out his medications. He's got some medications that are fighting with each other, we think. So we're just trying to get a handle on those. But no, thanks for asking.
Yes.
And it's because of real estate. Anybody who's new on here, if you're brand new, Joe Laubert and I were sitting where you were sitting how many years ago, Joe? Did we start in the basement? Man, that musty old basement.
Yeah.
And
15 years ago. 15 years ago.
Yep. And we're, because of real estate, because of networking, because everybody in this group, honestly, it's a FFREIA group that really got me to where I'm at, and I'm able to go travel with my wife, and you can do it too. We're all here to help. So, and I want to see people succeed. So, but yeah, because of real estate, man, it's pretty good. So, yeah. So that's it. That's it for me. I'm done.
Try not to smile when you say that, Scott.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah. So I just when I talk with people, it's like, like we're talking about goal setting and stuff. The year's half over. Did you set your 2020 goals, or we're in 2021? Okay, 2021 goals. Are you halfway there? If you're not, do you need help to get there? How can we help you get there? That's what it's all about. I tell people, look, if you want to do something, put a date on it. Like I tell people, I want to have a facility under contract this year. No, what date this year? And what happens is your mind starts working towards that date. I don't know why or how, but it just seems to it's happened. I've had it happen to 4 out of 5 people I talk to hit their date. Well, I'll say 3 out of 5. One guy missed by a week. He put April 15th, he put the place under contract April 22nd. And he set that at the beginning of the year. And so that's it. You just gotta tell your mind, and I'm just guilty as anybody else. You know, I slack sometimes. I don't do everything I'm supposed to, but yeah, if you set a date in your mind, for some reason your mind just starts working towards helping you accomplish that date. So Joe, you've probably done that a time or two yourself, and probably other people on here have too.
It sounds, Scotty, it sounds like my favorite book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Anybody heard of that?
Oh yeah.
That was the, I don't want to say Bible, but that was the book that set me into action. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Awesome. Scotty, you've heard that? You've seen that? Read it?
Oh yeah, that's a classic. Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. How to Win Friends and Influence People. You know,
Yeah.
for these younger people on this, they may have never heard of those books. Those are all-time business classics that just work. Today, as I did in the 1920s, I think is when they were written. But yeah.
You know, every single millionaire, and it's 100%, every millionaire I've ever talked to has read those books. I try to actually see. I'm trying to hear if someone's actually not read it, who's actually a millionaire, and not one of them has ever answered no to that question to me. Not one. And when I talk to people, well, I haven't read it yet. I'm like, you need to. Okay. Every millionaire I've ever talked to, every single one, 100% of the time. So what does that say? We all need to read them.
So much lessons to be learned in that whole program. I got the cassette tape and the book. I read it together while I'm listening to it.
You can read quicker.
I gotta tell you, I had laser eye surgery, right? And you know, laser thing, and you have to close your eyes for like 12 hours. This is what I did. I turned on the cassette of Think and Grow Rich for 12 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Folks, well, that's what everybody needs to do
There you go.
today. So,
Bro, they have YouTube for that now.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And you found
you can buy it on record too. There's a record recording of it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. No excuses.
Right.
So before we get into Scott's subject over here, does anyone have any questions that they wanted to go over before we get into Scott's subject over here?
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, I'm Howie. I live in the New York City area. I've been a Rochester real estate investor since 2008. I have 12, 13, I don't know, houses. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning and I don't have a handle on everything going on with my units. And the other thing is, I did a successful flip on Bowman Street last year. And even though it was delayed and there were all kinds of problems because of the pandemic, numbers wise, it was what I had projected. It's something I really, what?
It's a great area. I did Bowman Street too.
Yeah. So I'm dying to keep doing that. I know that the inventory is low now because there's a high level of activity. Is there anyone who can, you know, Leon was talking about systemization. I almost want someone to help me come up with a business plan for like a deal pipeline and what numbers I should be coming up with. And, you know, just if I'm going to any hard money lender, I want to be able to, I want to systemize this is what I want to do. So I mean, I'll pay for the guidance. I'm just really looking for help here.
Systemize in what way? Are you talking about like finding?
In other words, this is the system I use to find deals. This is the system I use to come up with the after repair value. This is the system I use to show a hard money lender that, you know, this is what I do. I just want to have a systemized way of doing it, instead of doing what I'm doing now, is just saying to people, hey, man, if you find something interesting, let me know.
Well, Howard, you're on the right Zoom here, because part A, buying those deals, right? That's where Joe comes in. That's where the wholesalers come in. That takes care of part A. Right there. They'll help you with part B, C, and D, but getting the deals, Joe and others will get you there. You're out of state or out of town, so you don't have to do that part of it. We have people here doing part A for you, so that's why that connection is important between you and the wholesaler. Boom, there's where it goes. They may advise you on part B, C, D, and E, whatever it might be. Right there is your game.
Right. Well, my property manager has, you know, work crews. He already does my repairs on my existing properties. So I sort of have that part of the infrastructure down. It's me learning to know what I'm doing is the part I want to, you know.
Well, doing what? We're at a loss as to what you're looking for.
In other words, if I was going to write an executive summary and a plan of this is how I do flips in Rochester, this is where I get deals from. This is, if it's something as easy as, you know, somebody like Joe saying to me, hey man, you know, there's something I saw in the 19th ward. It just came up. The guy wants 25,000 and the brokers don't know about it yet. I don't know. I don't know what it really looks like. But
first thing, you put your information in the chat box so people can actually contact you.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I would do. Like, you know, I even put my phone number on there too. At the same time, you know, for what you're looking for, and Carl's 100% right. You know, getting people to call you. You already have people in place as far as for property management. It sounds to me like it's getting it at the right price. Obviously, that one on Bowman Street you said turned out really well. So obviously, you got it at a really good price.
There was a fire sale, yeah.
Yeah, and you know that area there is actually up and coming because it's on the west side of Culver over there between Atlantic. So if you don't know, it's between Atlantic Avenue and Main Street and Lighton Street there, right where the Sticky Lips area is there.
Would that be considered Beechwood?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Up to Culver is Beechwood. East side, Joe. East side. You said west side. East side.
Well, no, that's actually the west side of Culver Road, which is right across from Winton Village. There, right?
Yes.
It's right across the street from East High School.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right off of East Main,
Yeah.
and that's called Upper East End, and that's Beechwood.
Okay.
So is it east of Culver or west of Culver?
West.
West of Culver.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good hot spot right there.
It
I
is.
think that side of Culver was overlooked. East side of Culver was just killing it now. I had a couple over in there that I sold, and man, I wish I had them now, but I'm traveling, so okay. Hoo, right? So, but is anybody willing to help him do that? If not, I have a suggestion, but if anybody on this call is willing to help him do that, by all means, take it.
Yeah, look, you know, obviously all suggestions, you know, and just like, you know, Howie, put your information on there, because I'm not the only wholesaler on here, but also, you know, take numbers down and also be proactive and actually call.
I'm doing that right now.
You know?
And thank you guys so much for your encouragement and your suggestions. And I love listening to all you guys. It's very inspirational and fun.
Glad to have you. And then
Thank
Scott.
Who's your property manager?
Torres Turnkey, Neda and Danny Torres.
Neda.
Okay.
Yeah, Neda. We
Okay.
know Neda.
Yeah.
We know Neda.
Okay. Because I was going to say, for a training and doing all that, he's a vendor member. You might want to call Pat Gallagher with Gallagher Property Management and just call him and say, look, your name came up last night on the Zoom call. I'm willing to pay you. Will you help me with I think Pat would be a good choice. I don't know about anybody else, but I think that Pat's a good choice for somebody that maybe help you write a business plan, you know, help you with stuff. I think Pat Gallagher might be willing to do it. He doesn't do coaching. I don't believe he does coaching, but you know, on a one-off basis, he might. Now everybody knows. Everybody might tell him, so.
How do I contact? Well, I'm giving you guys my contact info. Right
Give
now.
me a call and I can give you information. And there's also Carl.
Yeah.
Yep.
Carl.
Right. So if you Google Gallagher Property Management, he's all right there.
Gallagher Property Management.
You're right. You're
Very
right
cool,
about
man.
Scott. You're right about that. So if we want to develop a business plan, a structure, how to go forward, Pat Gallagher is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you do that too, don't you, Carl?
I do. So I do it on a lesser scale, where I do pre-purchase consulting. So if you're looking to buy a property and you want to, look at this from somebody with experience, I look at that in terms of, what to expect in terms of income and expenses going forward. That's what I do. It's very important. It's huge. That's kind of what I do.
So maybe I should contact you, Carl, and just send you my numbers,
Yeah. No. So if you have a property that you're looking to purchase, that's what we go through. We go through that whole I&E thing in terms of true numbers, in terms
Gotcha.
of reality. Oh my God. Because the MLS system will not give you reality. They don't give you the real deal.
No, they give you something after everybody, like guys in this room have looked at it,
Yeah. I give you the real deal.
No, that's awesome. So
yeah, I got a good lesson from Carl for sure. It was the best $50,000 I ever spent, but I got a good lesson from Carl.
I'm still waiting for that check, dude.
Oh, you didn't get it yet? Come on, check's in the mail.
No.
Uh-huh.
But what's that lesson, Scott?
Wow, it's a big one. You make the money when you buy it. That's number one. Number two, you got to get the right tenants in there. If you're going to rent properties, you got to get the right tenants in there.
I'm very happy with my rental
well.
agent. My vacancy rate has been very, very low these past 5 years.
Awesome.
Howie, do you flip or buy and hold, by the way?
Right now, I'm only looking to do flips. I'm holding on to my hold properties right now, although there's a couple I might be interested in selling, but I'm not sure. But right now, I'm trying to generate cash. That's my primary motivation right now.
Cool.
Good. Well, hopefully, well, I should be able to get some good information especially from Carl and.
Yeah. Carl.
Thank you, guys. Now I'll just I'll just listen and worship to everything I hear now.
Well, Carl, feel free to give input. We're no experts here. None of us are experts, and you have experience, and you may know a different angle on some things that we don't. So
About what? I began this June of 2019. That's when I started. So what are you talking about? The ETPA rules of the state. Oh my God. Don't let me go there. Joe, control me. I will stop.
No, Carl.
No.
I'm down. I know Scott wanted to go over a couple of things here also that we talked about prior to. And then we'll get into Carl with what's going on, because it actually is going to affect us buying, flipping, wholesaling, renting, and buying rentals. But I don't know if before we get into all this stuff here, anyone else have any more questions, by the way? Anything that they want to go over? Feel free. Everyone's good? Scott, are you still there, Scott, or did we lose you?
I'm here. I'm gonna look back on my messages to see what we were gonna talk about tonight.
Oh, you want to talk about, it's halfway through the year.
Do we want to do breakout rooms?
Excuse me?
Do we want to do breakout rooms?
No.
What?
You'll probably lose
That's
people
looking-
if you
Wait.
do.
Take
Yeah.
The best looking person on Zoom says no.
no, take a vote. Take a vote.
Cat says no too.
Yeah, well, check out there. Andy just chimed in. So,
What's Andy say?
what?
Andy
type of-
says we'll lose people and probably won't get them back. It's a little late. It's getting close to.
Okay.
It's after 8 at this point.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let me address a question in chat. I know we're going back here, so I just want to address this. So if you own a house that is destroyed by fire, are you responsible for demo or could you just walk away? No, you're responsible for demo. One way or another, you're going to eat that price. So you got to think about how you're going to get rid of that liability.
Mhm. Well, you know, it's so crazy too, Carl. I talked to a woman, I'm trying to buy another firehouse. I talked to her a couple of days ago. They didn't even realize that they could actually get the money from the insurance company and sell the property.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. I'm like, what? Yeah. It's like getting gravy on top of gravy. So, was that the only question, Carl?
Yeah.
Okay. So on to Scott's subject over here. I know, first of all, and anybody can chime in over here, it's halfway through the year. And Scott, I don't know if you can still hear us or not, because I know you're very, I don't know what the word is called there. I don't know if you're moving around.
Walking around outside.
That's why. Okay. All right. But basically, one of the things is that, you know, we always try to figure out where the heck we're at. We're halfway through the year. Technically, we got what, 24, 25 more Saturdays, whatever the heck it is that's left in the year, 27 before Christmas, whatever the heck it is there. As crazy as that sounds, and nobody wants to hear that in a beautiful summer night. I like to look at stuff, and I know Scott does too, and a lot of us here, as far as are where we expect it to be, need to be halfway through the year. Anybody who's brave enough to answer?
Well, I guess I'll go. I haven't talked much, but I generally flip between 1 to 3 homes a year, and at this, it basically depends on what I have going on in my life at the time. But at this point, I'm currently at 2, and obviously at this point, I would, you know, like to have at least 3 done. But as everyone's kind of mentioned on the chat, this market is pretty tight. It's pretty competitive. So if I had to project, it's a possibility that I'll get a third one in there, but to reach my goals that I set for 2021, I think I may fall slightly short. You never know what'll happen, but just based on how the market's been going, I would think that I might not hit that number. But in real estate and in investing overall, I think you just have to kind of be patient. I think slow and steady kind of wins. And, you know, if you make one bad mistake, which fortunately I haven't done over my 12 years of doing it, it could really, things could really go south. So I just think at a time like this, you kind of just have to be patient. What I like to be hitting my goals, yes, but in this market, I'm not so upset about it. Might have to look to set my sights high for 21, 22. But to answer your question and Scott's question of the day, I haven't hit it. The year's not over yet to be an optimist, but I'm also realistic as well.
Congressman, so what was your goal? I mean, you usually do 2 to 3 a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
on average, I would say for sure 2.
2. So right now, and so what was your goal? 4?
Yep, 4.
All right. So how far along on your second flip are you right now?
I'm done and closed.
Okay. So no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say on the second flip, if there was a misstep made, I would say I probably should have, and I was doing it, but I should have probably been a little bit more proactive in terms of finding that third property in the while I was actually doing that second flip. But as I mentioned before, the market's real competitive and it is tight. And I looked at quite a few homes, but it wasn't working for my numbers. And like I said, I just didn't pull the trigger on some of them. And I think that's caused a slight delay, but yep.
But yeah, but that's also playing it smart. And the other thing too, which I tell people, is that don't just take into account, you know, everybody wants to do, if they did 3 last year and they want to do 4 this year, it's not just a matter of getting to the 4th, it's also because they want to make more money. And it's also, you got to take into account, it's just like, okay, the market's up. So some people are making more money doing the same amount of properties too. So that's also a win too. So don't beat yourself up at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and besides, you still have half the year. You know,
well, yes, but if we're being realistic, if I had a deal, let's say on the table right now, it's going to take roughly a month, maybe 2 to actually close everything out. I'll be in and out in maybe a month and a half, 2 months, and then another 2 on the closing end. So, I mean, and that's, you know, not hitting any bumps in the road. So, I mean, 3 is possible, but like I said, I'm not going to lose any sleep if I don't get the 4th in there. I just wanted to make sure that I was stepping it up just a little bit for 2021. But, you know, I think as long as I'm striving toward that goal, everything's all good. But I do think I'll fall short, but I've come to accept that.
Congressman, I got 2 questions for you. How are you finding these deals, and are you engaged with doing the work, or is it all subbed out?
I'll answer your second question first. I do all of my work. There's obviously some things I don't do. You can't get me to climb up on a roof, but you know, if I walked in a home that pretty much needed everything, I could, you know, get it done, or I have the people who I could call to get those things done. For your first question, I typically find homes in, you know, different ways, word of mouth, wholesaler. My attorneys, you know, brought me a few deals. My realtor has brought me a few deals before they hit the market. I mean, in the past, I've even found a few solid properties on Craigslist. So no way's always like tried and true. So, I mean, you kind of just get the deals however they come to you. But to answer your question, I'm always eyes and ears and looking for the next opportunity. So.
Awesome. So, Joe, I got to ask you, in terms of, well, you're just like, you're a machine now. So everything's word of mouth. I mean, the advertising you've done has branded you to be, you know, you got to call Joe. So, in terms of 90%, 10%, where are you with where you get your deals from in terms of Yeah. Go ahead.
Majority of them, we're getting them through people they contact us direct. I mean, like through whether it be just like Carsman was talking about. I'm also talking, a lot of the deals we're just getting people calling us up. Hey, listen, we got these people. They need to get rid of the property. So a good majority of them, which has been fantastic, is, and then obviously, we also do the advertising, marketing and everything else, but most of them, we got people calling us up. And the last
Off market deals, off market, right?
every single one of them,
Wow.
every single one of them, all of them, off market deals. And, we've been doing pretty good with that. But obviously we're still marketing, still doing everything else, but I'm still out there, I don't take it for granted. People think, oh, well, you don't have to market or advertise. That's a bunch of bull. I still do it every single day. Anybody that knows me knows that.
Except the billboards. What happened to the billboards?
You're going to see them very shortly.
Oh, really?
December, right?
No.
Oh, really?
Don't worry.
Oh, Mr. Big Bucks not going to keep December out
Oh my
anymore, huh?
God.
What'd you say?
You commanded the whole market with those billboards. You tucked it in. You were it. You were the king.
No, I just try to keep up with everybody else. That's all.
No. The little 2x4s on the post doesn't bring your billboard exposure.
Well,
That's why you're better than anybody else.
No, it's called the city can't find me. I'd love to have one right across the city hall. Boom. Yeah, right in front of the inspector's office, but it ain't gonna happen.
Oh God, that's awesome.
But,
All right. I have a question for Carsman, if you guys can hear me. Carsman, you said you want to do 3 flips this year, right?
Well, the plan was 4, but yeah, the 3 will
Okay.
suffice.
Do you want to do 4? Do you want to do 4 flips this year?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You just want to do 4 flips, right?
That was my 2021 goal. Yep.
Okay. All right. I bet Joe has a flip that he will sell you. If you don't make any money, you did a flip, right? If you want to do 4 flips, we'll do 4 flips. Put a dollar value on it. I know you want to do 4 flips. How much you want, and this is personal. How much do you want to make per flip? Because you could do a flip and make $1,000. You're not going to do that. You're too smart for that. Yeah. How much money do you want to make on your flips on average? Turn it around that way. Because you know you can do 4 flips, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What dollar value do you want on that? Look at it. Just a little change of thought for you on that.
Yeah, and I get where you're headed with that, and I would say even with the 2 flips that I did this year, it surpassed what I made last year with my flips. And again, it's all dictated on the market and how you're selling for more either way. So I do get the number of flips is irrelevant. It's actually what you're making off of it, which is probably one of the reasons I'm not really, stressing so much about it. Not to mention that I'm sure I mentioned it. I kind of moonlight doing this thing, and it's not my, it's not my 9 to 5. So I have things that really buffer that. This flipping thing is kind of like, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like icing on the cake. But nonetheless, I still have goals that I try and reach, and I do want to meet those goals.
Awesome.
Full time.
So you said you made more this year in 2021 on your flips than you did in 2020, right?
That's correct.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, 2021, in my opinion, that's got to be a hard year to flip properties. to find a deal, number one, the cost of materials and contractors and stuff like that. Man, great job. You know, that's for sure. I hope you do 2 more flips. I think you will. I think you will do 2 more flips before the end of the year. Year's only half over. So, you know, you'll find something for sure.
And I think when anyone who's doing flips, and I'm pretty sure someone in here could speak on their own behalf. I mean, the market. I mean, if you planned on getting 150 for a house and you put it on the market, you're getting 170 now. So, I mean, the market, low inventory, and that low inventory is causing people to offer more. So I think that contributes to, you know, why I've made a few more dollars than last year. But last year was pretty good too. I mean, in terms of people paying a little bit more.
Nice. Yeah. On the supplies, I do some RV business too. And I hear of people, they're taking brand new RVs with no air conditioning in them, but they're taking delivery based on they'll get their air conditioner in 3 years, or in 3 months. They have to take it back to the dealer and get the air conditioner installed. Now, that to me is just amazing. I'm like, there is no way. And sure enough, I talked to somebody, they did. They purchased an RV with no air conditioner in it. The dealer sealed the roof, and they have to go back in 2 months when the air conditioning unit comes in for them to take it. It's just how crazy the inventory and supply is right now. It's like, you know, to get 2 houses done this year is pretty good.
And Scott, just to kind of draw a parallel, I would say over the past 2 years, and I never thought this. I still don't see why people would do this, but I mean, my last few flips, they've been, you know, purchased with no inspection. Like who would ever think that someone will buy a house and not get, you know, an engineering inspection? But again, because of the market, people are doing that, and as a seller, that's awesome, because you know, you don't have, you know, buyers and inspectors going in there saying, hey, this needs to be done, that needs to be done, and you're paying more money to get those things fixed. But you know, I believe it. It's just the time that we're in right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
So, any wholesaler out there, if you got properties, you got somebody right here who's willing to buy them, and I'm sure he's got money to back them. So, and I'm sure he's willing to pay a little more than the wholesale fee if he can make the numbers work. So, and that's what Carl said. That's what this group's all about, is just people networking, saying, hey, you want to get into wholesale? Get out there, start looking. You got a guy right here who's willing to buy a house from you today.
If there are wholesalers in here, I'm pretty sure I've had a conversation with them already.
That was when you reached out to everybody, man. It's fantastic.
Right, Earl. He's busy grading those math papers.
Now he's busy counting his money. That's all wholesale deals he's doing. He's
Earl,
busy
just pass
counting
them. Just pass them on.
That's right.
Now we're all gonna get
Cool.
Yeah. Does actually, I don't know if anyone else has anything they want to go over or talk about. Anyone else with their goals?
We appreciate you sharing your goal. It's not easy to do that, you know, and you stepped right up and shared the goal, and we appreciate that. And I think a lot of people on this call need to hear that.
Can I share my goals?
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
What's your goal?
So this year was a big transition for me, going from my group to me individually. So we were doing about 1 wholesale deal a month for our first year. So, you know, 12 was my goal for July, and I'm only at 3. So my goal for the rest of the year is that I want to pick up a minimum of one wholesale transaction per month, And I am going to do a rent to own this year. Rent to own. That's what I'm going to do. And I am going to get my feet wet with Airbnb. So those are my two big shiny objects for the year.
Fantastic, Earl.
Nice.
I know you, Earl. When you set your sights on something, you make it happen.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so Joe, you and Earl are communicating, right?
Yeah, we talked. Yeah.
Okay.
I've known Earl for a long time, actually. And then we ran into each other at the REIA meeting. I was like, hey, man, I know you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll share my goal real quick. If we got a minute.
Cool.
Yeah.
I definitely have fallen short. I'll be the first to admit that. My goal was to flip my first house by the time I was 25. And I turned 25 last September. So definitely falling short. But I think I've been going about it the wrong way up until 2 months ago. I hadn't joined FFREIA. I wasn't networking. I hadn't been talking to wholesalers, some of the people in this group. So I'm still optimistic. I kind of rolled over last year's goal into this year, and that is to flip a house by the time I'm 26. And September's coming fast, but I'm just, trying to network as much as I can and see where that goes.
Now, and by the way, and we appreciate you actually sharing that too. Because look, not
Yeah, I
all
feel
of
like
us
it's important.
meet our goals. Remember that.
Oh yeah, I know.
No.
And I think it's important, like you guys said, to be patient. You have to be patient, especially when you're just getting started. But I think if I stick at it long enough, that momentum will get going. And
Well, let me ask you a question. I know you said you're networking, and obviously this is going to be your first flip, right? You're looking for.
Yep.
So
yeah, I helped my dad with 2 flips back when I was just starting college, and that's kind of like what got me interested in it. And it's always been something I wanted to do on my own. And now I think I'm ready to give it a stab.
Now, I remember you're not in Rochester. What state are you in?
No, I'm in Rochester. Yep.
Oh, you're in Rochester. Oh, okay. All right. I remember for a while you were traveling. I think you were out of state. I can't remember if it was a couple of meetings ago. I don't know if you were staying there.
Yeah, no, I was out of town, but nope, I live here. I'm actually sitting on my porch over on Rundell Park in the city off University. So.
All right. Well, the reason why is that what you should be doing is that, are you contacting and talking to other investors every single day to see what the heck they're doing instead of just every few days? So I tell people, if you want to get a goal done, find people who are doing what you're doing. And, it's the same adage. If you hang out with 5 broke people, you're going to be the 6th one.
Yeah.
Same thing with people who do properties and flipping. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I've got like 6 or 7 wholesalers on my contact list. I try and reach out at least every 2 weeks. And that's about it right now. You think more than that?
Investors, you have all these people on this line who you can connect to and put your phone number out there. Tell them to call you.
I'm definitely going to do that. Yeah, I threw my number in the chat at the beginning, but I'll throw it in again. I'd love to pick your guys' brains. That's for sure. Anything I can learn is only going to help.
A lot of us will be more than happy to help. People. All you got to do is pick up the phone and call.
Yep. Absolutely.
Ask people. Hey, listen. If I'm going somewhere. If you're going to go somewhere, let me know. Either I'll meet you there or I'll go with you or whatever. People do that all the time here.
Yeah, I was at the meeting last Saturday with Pat Gallagher and his 2 flips. That was awesome.
Oh, John, you were there, right? We were there. That was awesome.
That was great.
That was just so great.
Yeah, he did. That's right. It was Benton's. The one on Benton. That place was a disaster.
Yeah. He definitely had his hands full with that one.
Yeah. We were the ones that found that deal for him. And but it's a great area. It's unbelievable. But what time? Oh my gosh, it's 8:30.
Flies by.
Holy smokes here. Anyone else real quick here?
Yeah, real quick, this is Michael Brown. Yeah, my goal was to just like John was just saying, pick brain, learn, listen. That's basically what I said the last breakout. I was hoping to possibly buy another property, but like Carsman said, because of the market, it makes it very difficult. And I didn't want to make a wrong move. And like Carl was saying to me, it's like be patient. And so I kind of like took that stance. And so I said, well, let me learn a little bit. Let me see what's going on out there. And sometimes I'll look and I'll see some things and I don't want to make that wrong move. And I remember Carl was saying, well, you know, if you got anything, talk to me. And I said, well, I'll keep to that. So I kind of took two steps up, but I took a step back in some ways because I don't want to make the wrong move. And I know sometimes the greatest risk is the greatest reward, but I still don't want to be too, I know sometimes I can make a move and it's too quick. So I want to stay into learning and picking as much brains and networking as much as I can. So.
Sometimes,
and I'm still just an, if I look at it, I'm a toddler at this right
now. Well, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So do it smart. And again, Michael, and just like, what works for us speed wise may not work for you, and then vice versa for everybody else here. Exactly. So go at your own pace, do what makes you comfortable. But after a while though, and same thing like with John and everybody else on this call, when you start hanging out or talking to other investors and you're seeing exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it and how fast they're able to do it, it will automatically, you'll start to speed up, you'll expedite what you're looking to do. At the same time, make the right decision. So.
Exactly. And I missed the flips last week because I was scheduled to work, and I was like, man, I never had a face-to-face meeting yet other than Zoom. So,
well, pick up the phone. There's people you can call.
That's the thing. That's what I have.
There will be more in-person meetings. I think we're going to see as soon as we can find some venues for the evening meetings that have the ability to do these blended venues, it'll be great. We had really good success with the housing provider support meeting. We had a bunch of people in person and a bunch of people online simultaneously, and it went really well. I found some bugs to work out. We're getting some technology things addressed. And we're hoping to be able to do these blended meetings from, basically starting sometime in July forward until they either shut it all down again or, everybody just quits and leaves Rochester and there's no more real estate going on. So for the foreseeable future, that being said, the July housing provider support meeting that would take place on the 8th at 8:30 in the morning is canceled. That would normally be Pat Gallagher's morning meeting. That's July 4th week. We expect 0 people to be attending, or maybe 1 or 2. And that is the same day as we would normally have our general meeting. And we have decided that due to, again, July 4th week, anybody who is still in town who wants to get together should head over to Johnny's in Arundecoit and drink. So that is the plan. We will be in person. There will be no recordings of people drinking. It will not be posted on the website.
Send pictures.
Andy?
Yeah, just want to make sure we mention right now the picnic is still on for August. So certainly that would be one of our, it's always our probably largest event, but it'll be great to have everyone there so we can meet face to face.
Absolutely. All right.
Real quick. Are
Um,
we on? Yeah, so next Thursday is the property management support group Thursday. Next week is 7 o'clock. And as you know, I have in my chat box my personal number. So if you have a question or a concern, if you have any kind of advisory, you want some kind of help in whatever you want to do, my phone number is in the chat right there, 629. You'll see it. Either way, we'll see you next weekend. Andy, take it away.
I think the only other thing that we were going to touch on was the housing court thing. It can probably wait for Carl's meeting next week once we actually see it. But it did pass both the Senate and Assembly for New York State. So Rochester will be getting a dedicated housing court again as soon as the governor puts his name to it, which was expected to be tomorrow or Monday at the latest.
Yep.
So
and we're going to cover that next Thursday. Yep.
Yourself.
There you go. Scott is very staticky. I don't even know if he's still moving. He's frozen.
Extremely staticky. Thank you.
There we go.
Listen, it's about 25 minutes to 9. I'm going to stick around here we'll stick around here. It's almost 20 minutes now for a few more minutes. We appreciate all of you getting on the call tonight. But if you have any more questions, we'll stick around for a few more minutes. And thank you very much. Everyone have a great night. Go do real estate. Thank you.
Thank you for everything, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, Joe, real quick.
Yeah.
You had said, I was saying that I contact wholesalers that I know, like try and do it every 2 weeks. You said to do it more often. What do you think is like the appropriate amount? I don't want to be like too present where I'm like.
I know. Look, you can text. I get people who text me.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, the guy needs anything. And all of a sudden, they actually have something. You never know.
Okay.
And Scott is staticky.
John, let me just interject here a bit.
Yep.
The thing that you need to do is put your name with your specifics in the minds of as many wholesalers as you can.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I have this good friend, Joe Lababera. No matter how many times I tell him I want wholesale deals.
Send you
and I
stuff.
want it in these areas. He just forgets about me. He gives the deal to someone else. Okay.
I send you stuff all the time.
So you see what I
Yeah.
mean, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
You have to throw this. It's like you're fishing, and you have this net. The bigger the net is, the further you can throw it and cover as many of those wholesalers as you can, the more deals that you're going to be.
Awesome. Well, that's the plan. I'm definitely going to keep at it.
That, and also contact other investors too. Because sometimes they'll get deals.
I need to
that
start
they don't
doing
want.
that.
And hey, I got this or we got that, or maybe you can, whatever.
So,
yeah, I'll definitely be doing that.
So, John, another question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific real estate broker or agent that you work with?
I do, and his name's Pete DiMartino. He's through Howard Hanna. He's my dad's real estate agent. And that was kind of how I was going about looking through houses through the MLS for like the last 2 years. And I put in a lot of offers, but granted, they're MLS houses, so 100 other people put in offers too, and I haven't gotten one. So, but I have talked to other real estate agents. Joe introduced me to Colleen
Bracci.
Bracci, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had some good talks with her, so.
Yeah, I mean, one suggestion would be that, you know, you have a relationship with a real estate, in a real estate agent or broker that is really more in tune, for sake of better words, with working with investors, because it's a largely different approach that people will take. I know there are people on this call that have bought a large number of their properties from the MLS. So, so that's you know, something else to keep in mind.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely good advice. I mean, Pete's a great guy and he's been super helpful, but he definitely his specialty is definitely more not towards investors.
Retail.
And yeah, and he's been upfront about that. It's definitely on me to kind of branch out.
So I mean, we have vendor members. Colleen Bracci is one. Of course, I would be in deep trouble if I didn't mention my wife is another one. And both of them are excellent working with investors.
Sounds great to me. Now to find the contact information for vendor members, can I do that on the website?
It's right on the website. All the vendor members are there.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks guys. I really appreciate all the advice and definitely your time. I know you guys got a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't, you know, have people understand that when you see a vendor member that's on the website, that person has already basically said that they really want to work with investors.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that they understand and enjoy doing. So look at those folks, whether it's you're looking for a CPA or you're looking for an attorney. I mean, those are the folks that really understand what it is investors do and how to interact with them.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that I could look that right up on the website. So that's great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well,
thanks.
Glad we can help, John.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's been great so far, you know.
Good.
Learning a lot.
Glad to have you.
I won't keep you guys any longer, but hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you at the next meeting.
Absolutely.
Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, John.
I don't know if Scott's still on or not.
Looks like he dropped off. He might have lost signal. I saw him sit in his truck and then he got quiet and disappeared.
Yeah, the static was like brutal.
Oh yeah, it was not good. Not good.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I got on the call a little bit late today. I got hung up, and so I didn't know what was covered in the beginning of the meeting. I thought the event that we had this weekend was really outstanding. We videoed it, and we'll probably put it on the website. We have to look at the results and go through it, but certainly something that we look to do again when we have events. So Pat did his normal great job, so we'll see.
Awesome. Good. All right. Everybody all set?
All set.
All right.
Think
Go
we're
buy
good.
real estate.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thanks,
everybody.
Leon.
Thank you.
See you, everybody.
Have a good night.
You too.